Have you ever felt like life has taken everything from you? Not slowly, not in pieces, but all at once, like the ground beneath your feet disappeared and nothing seemed familiar anymore? Today's story is about a man who faced that exact reality and how he learned that even when life wipes you clean, persistence and learning rebuild you stronger. In a small town surrounded by dusty streets and quiet markets, there lived a man named Samir. Samir had a humble beginning. He grew up in a small house with his parents and two siblings. From an early age, he learned the value of hard work. He helped his father in a tiny shop that sold tools and hardware. Life was never luxurious, but it was steady, predictable, and safe. As Samir grew older, he dreamed of more than just running a small shop. He wanted to build something big, a business that could change his life and give his family comfort. And so, at the age of 25, he took a leap. He started borrowing money, small loans at first, then bigger ones. Every investment felt like a step forward. New tools, a bigger shop, more stock. Slowly, he built a name for himself in the town. People called him ambitious. Friends admired his courage, but ambition, if not balanced with caution, can turn into danger. Samir's first mistake was overconfidence. He thought he could handle more than he really could. Loans piled up. A few bad investments drained his cash. Customers delayed payments. Vendors became impatient. And then one morning, a single bank notice changed everything. He had to repay a debt he could not afford. The business collapsed. The shop was sold. Yeah, his family home was mortgaged. Creditors came knocking. Friends who once praised him now avoided him. The town that once admired him whispered quietly behind his back. Samir felt like he was falling through the earth. For weeks, he wandered aimlessly through the same streets he had once walked with confidence. He avoided mirrors. He avoided conversation. Every call, every knock at the door reminded him of what he had lost. I had everything, he thought, and now nothing. No business, no home, no respect. What kind of life is this? He felt broken. One evening, he walked past an old bookstore he had often visited as a child. Dusty shelves, yellowed pages, and the faint smell of coffee and paper filled the air. He hesitated, then stepped inside. Among the old books and journals, his eyes fell on a notebook lying on a shelf, half hidden. Curious, he picked it up. It was a simple notebook, the kind a merchant might use to track small accounts, budgets, or daily expenses. As he flipped through it, he realized something. The notebook contained detailed notes about small savings, careful planning, and patient growth. Every step was methodical. Every day counted. Something clicked in Samir's mind. He realized that his problem had never been ambition. It had been impatience and lack of planning. He bought the notebook, walked out, and sat on a nearby bench by the river. For the first time in weeks, he felt a spark of hope. That night, he decided to rebuild, not with borrowed money or risky plans, but with discipline, patience, and small, consistent steps. He rented a tiny room with barely enough space to move. He had no furniture, no tools, no customers, and just the notebook and his determination. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise. He planned his day carefully. 1 hour for learning new skills, 2 hours for reaching out to people he could help, 1 hour for budgeting and tracking expenses, 1 hour for self-reflection and meditation. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And slowly, he began to see small victories. He helped a neighbor repair a broken chair. A friend asked him to fix a leaking tap. A local shopkeeper needed someone to organize inventory. Every task was small, but each completed task rebuilt his confidence. Samir wrote down every expense, every earning, every tiny improvement. He learned to prioritize, to save, and to invest wisely. He no longer sought shortcuts, no overnight success, just steady, consistent progress. The town began noticing him again. Our people saw the young man who never gave up, even when everyone else had walked away. Slowly, clients returned, more than he expected. They trusted his honesty and patience. 5 years passed. What had started as tiny repairs and small projects grew into a modest but thriving business. Samir no longer chased quick wealth. He built steadily, reinvesting profits and staying disciplined. He also never forgot the lessons of humility, patience, and hard work. 10 years after losing everything, Samir walked past the same streets where he had once been ashamed. The town looked the same, but he was not the same man. He owned a stable, respected business. His family lived comfortably, and most importantly, he had rebuilt his reputation, not through luck, but through resilience and wisdom. One afternoon, a young man approached him nervously, asking for advice. He explained that he had just lost a small business and felt hopeless. Samir smiled gently. "Losing everything does not mean you have lost yourself," he said. "Life wipes your slate clean sometimes, not to punish you, but to show you what you are truly capable of. Start small, be patient, learn every day, and never give up." The young man listened, tears in his eyes, as Samir continued, "Even when the world turns away, your persistence can rebuild everything stronger than before." And in that moment, Samir realized something profound. The real success was not the shop, the money, or the respect. It was the man he had become during the journey. He had been broken, he had been lost, but he had also been brave enough to face reality, patient enough to rebuild, and wise enough to learn from his mistakes. And that, he understood, was the greatest lesson life could teach. Because sometimes losing everything is the universe's way of teaching you how strong you really are. Even when life wipes you clean, persistence and learning rebuild you stronger.